So this is a Skill Connect webinar, our popular webinar series focused on knowledge imparting topics and industry trends. And today's webinar is on ethical data science. So before we dive into the topic, let me give you a brief overview of what we will be covering in today's webinar and what we will do. So to begin with, I'll provide you with an introduction to our organization and what we do and what our vision is. And then our guest speaker will then proceed to share his knowledge and perspective on today's subject matter. And our discussion will encompass several topics exploring the responsible application of machine learning, focusing on reducing bias and safeguarding privacy. Additionally, during the course of the webinar, we will present a demonstration of our platform outlining its functions and accessibility. During the end, we will provide an attendance form that you can fill out in exchange. We will offer you an industry insight ebook as a token of appreciation. So continuing, SkillVertex is an e-learning platform that creates and sells upskilling courses that are designed to meet the ends of today's fast-paced and ever-changing job market. We provide live as well as recorded sessions in multiple domains such as engineering, finance, marketing, management. And one of the key benefits of being a part of a team and on our platform is the flexibility it offers. Our courses are designed to be self-paced and you can learn at your own pace and convenience and from anywhere you want. We also have a team of expert mentors who are always available to provide you guidance and assistance whenever you need it. The, and our courses are designed to be engaging and interactive, offering you an interactive learning experience. We offer various certifications, letter of recommendation, and additionally, they will have an industry capstone projects to showcase on their resume upon completion of our courses, helping you enhance your resume and stand out from the crowd in today's competitive job market. The best part is that our courses are affordable and accessible to everyone because we believe that everyone should have access to high quality education. Now, I would like to please introduce our guest, Mr. Akash Malu. He's a very experienced machine learning engineer with more than 3 years of experience with companies like Deloitte and Cognizant as a machine learning engineer. And we are really fortunate to have him with us today. And I encourage you all to take this advantage, unique opportunity to learn from one of the best in the business.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. You can continue with the webinar.
Okay, thanks. Thanks a lot for introduction. So as he said, so basically I am a data science trainer. So I'm working with the SkillVertex since its beginning, and I am also working in industry as well. So it's been more than 4 years since I'm in industry and into this data science and machine learning field. So I'm in a better position to tell you, it's not only the thing like everywhere you listen about data science, okay? Everywhere you listen about data science and everywhere you listen about machine learning. But the thing is, there are few things that you need to understand before proceeding, or even after, once you have learned as well, you need to understand what are the ethical practices that we need to follow in our data science domain. Okay. So in this case, particularly, we are going to talk about what are the ethical practices that we can follow in the data science domain. So this, it has no prerequisites, and no matter if you have prior knowledge of data science, implementations, pipelines, and all, no matter if you are an expert in this. So these are some of the ethical practices that you may already know in all the different fields as well, like in every field approximately, like when you browse an internet. So it's very important to understand what are good websites, what are not good websites, what are the malwares, what are the other different things, so that you can avoid yourself from getting caught and getting cheated on the online portals, right? So these are the same things that we are going to follow in this session. And in context of the data science, so when we build machine learning models, when we understand, when we create machine learning model, it's really important to follow these steps so that your model is fair, your model is not biased. So addressing bias, fairness, and all those different things in terms of the ethics, right? So that's what we are going to look into. So I'm just going to share my screen and make you introduced to this particular topic. I hope you guys can see the screen. Okay. I hope it is visible now.
Yeah, it's visible. You can continue.
Okay, great. So yeah, so basically, as I said, we are here to discuss about the ethical data science, so addressing bias, privacy, and fairness in our machine learning models. So what is ethical data science, as I said? So as I just introduced you about the ethics in every bit of work that we do online, not only online, but also offline, and any work that one is doing, it's really important to follow the ethics, follow the guidelines, and follow and do it correct way. So in data science as well, it is really important to do it correct way, so that your model is not biased. Your model does not access some private information of any user. It is fair. It does not you know tend towards some group or some organization or some other things, right? So that's what we are going to look into in the machine learning. So ethical data science explore basically what are the responsibilities that we can focus in order to create a machine learning, right? Focusing on reducing, as I said, the bias, so that it is not biased towards a particular group, and also looking into the privacy as well, right? So that the privacy is not breached, right? And because in machine learning model, we all require nothing but the data, and the data that we have, basically we are not using someone's private data. That's something that we need to take care of, and ensuring the fairness in the model, so that everyone can understand what is the input, what is the output, and how the correlation between them. Okay, so let's start. So as I said, first we are going to understand the importance of ethics in the data science, right? So basically, we are going to ensure the responsibility of the development and the deployment. So as I said, if you might have gone through my previous webinars, or if you already have knowledge of the data science, so we have a whole data science pipeline in which we have data processing, data mining, data processing, model development, and at the end we have evaluation and deployment. So in the development and deployment phase, we use in the phase of development, if we have got any private information of the data, so how are we dealing with that, right? So that is something we need to take care of as a data science practitioner, right? So let's say if you have got someone's private information, for example, I'm building a machine learning model, a text mining model, or a sentiment analysis model, and I have some information of the private chat of someone, because text informations are nothing but I'm dealing with the text data. And if I've got someone's private chat, it's my responsibility that I do not expose that into my end model and into my deployment, right? So that it can reflect whatever input I'm giving into the model, because these model learns from the data itself, right? So it's really important for us to safeguard that privacy, right? So that it does not go into a deployment of model. So it is really important for the developer and in the development phase and in deployment phase, obviously, so that the privacy is not breached in that case. So build trust with the users and stakeholders. What does it mean? Build trust with users and stakeholders means that we have all the different users of our application. Let's say I have some data science application, right? Let's say I have an application that is used by a bunch of users all across the countries. The user may be specific companies. If I'm working into B2B, if I'm working into B2C, the users can be normal consumers as well, right? So either consumers or the individual companies, if they are using my product, so it's my responsibility that I build trust with them. And how trust can be built? If I have safeguarded their privacy, if I have fair model, if model is not biased towards some ethnicity or some race or some sex or some religion, right? So that we need to take care of. And stakeholders means nothing but the different part of the applications, right? The stakeholders means there are business aspect of the application, there are technical aspect of the applications, there are social aspect of the application. So all those different stakeholders we have. So if you are aware of the organization's hierarchy, how organizations work. So on one project, there are different stakeholders. There are business stakeholders who gather the requirement and check that whether it is being fulfilled or not. There are testers. There are the users, that those who are going to use. There are developers. So as a developer, we need to build trust with all the stakeholders that we have. And also, as a third point, like avoid legal, financial, or reputational consequences. So if there is any, so as I said, today's time we have a lot of privacy talks happening, right? Like there are global, data privacy rules as well. GDPR. There are global rules in terms of data privacy as well. India is also building some rules based on that. So if you breach something, so obviously you are avoiding the legal, you are avoiding the law. I mean, you are breaking the law, and that may come as a consequence in a legal terms. And that may also cause into financial terms as well. So that's basically we need to take care of by addressing bias, fairness, and privacy in our models, so that we can avoid legal, financial, and reputational consequences. And obviously, if some company is going to be challenged in the court, then definitely, if you are right or wrong, even going to the court is will be a reputational loss for the company. So what are the challenges in this? What are the challenges of unethical practices when we do not actually follow those ethics that we need to do? Then what happens? What are the challenges in them? So basically, unintended bias can harm the vulnerable population. For example, biasness, what does it mean? So let's say if there is a judge, right, and there are two parties, right? There is a judge in the law and there are two parties. And if the judge is biased towards someone, he will listen them more, and maybe his decision will be biased towards that particular party, whichever is he biased about. So our model should not be biased. For example, let's say I have created a model for hiring purpose, right? Let's say I run a hiring company, and I have created a machine learning model that takes different values of the data, and it tells that whether a candidate is suitable for this position or not. Just an example, right? Now, my model is biased towards, let's say, Black people, right? So in America, it's very huge topic about white and black and all, right? So if my model is biased towards people and it's restricting Black people to enter in the organization, so it's definitely not a good thing. Basically, I am restricting the talent that is there to be part of the organization, right? So that is not only the loss of my clients, whichever are using my products, but also this is a wrong practice that I'm dealing with. So that is bias. So we need to take care of. So basically, one particular loss in long term, if my clients, if my users of the application figure it out that this is the case, then obviously it is not going to be a good thing for the company, right? Privacy breaches. There are a lot of privacy breaches causing the identity theft and financial losses. For example, your credit card information has leaked somewhere, right? And if somebody has got that and they are using your credit card, so that's the financial loss. And also, identity breach means if you have some private account or somewhere, and but data has been leaked, so somebody can post on behalf of you and make your reputation back. So that's also a different case of privacy and breaches. So we need to take care whenever we have any private information as a data. So we need to take care of those so that that does not exposed in the model, right? And unfair treatment, basically perpetuating the systemic injustice. So as I said in the first example, for example, like there is a judge who is biased towards someone. So if this also comes under unfair treatment, right? So if you are biased towards someone, you are treating the other one as an unfair rule, right? So that is also a challenge of not following the ethics in the data science. Okay, so there's again there are three key areas you might have talked about, like you might have gone through, like bias, privacy, and fairness a lot of times with this. So what is bias, right? Systematic error in the data or algorithm. So as I said, if your data itself is biased, let's say how data can be biased. For example, the data that I'm taking, that does not include the data of the Black people. So obviously that is not going to include in the shorting algorithm itself, right? It has very less amount of the data of the Black people, and those which are less amount of the data, they are not performing well in that. So it's also, it will make a rule, because machine learning and data science are nothing but meant to extract the rule out of nothing, right? So they extract the rules out of the data that you feed, and if the data is biased itself, so the rule that is going to be made from that data, it is going to be biased, right? So that is called biasness. Okay. Privacy, you already know, protecting the sensitive information. Fairness is nothing but ensuring equitable treatment by the models. Means, let's say if you're building a classification model, so it is treating all the classes balanced and equivalent. So that's the nothing but bias, privacy, and fairness. And one more thing I just want to highlight here. So anywhere, if you think that I'm not making sense to you, or if you're not able to get me, you can interrupt me. You can simply unmute yourself. You can interrupt me, and I'll happy to answer your question. Okay. Moving ahead, understanding bias. So I have given a plenty of lecture in what is bias, right? So let's understand it again. So systematic error in the data or algorithm that is skewed. Because of that, what happens? The model will skew towards something. That is nothing but the biasness. So as I just gave an example of those, the recruitment application that is biased towards white people. So it will suggest more white people, whether or not there is a quite competent black resources available, but it will not suggest that. It will suggest the white people because it's biased towards that. This can come this can come because of a particular modeling approach as well. This can come because of a wrong data as well. So we, as a developer, we need to take care of those things. So we need to balance out our data, whatever data we are using. We should not use unbalanced data, or if we have unbalanced data, there are techniques to balance it out, right? Either downsampling, upsampling, that we can basically go through, right? But at the end, you do not have to use the unbalanced data that is biased towards everything. So when you do data analysis, everything will be clear and you'll be able to understand what is wrong with this, and you can treat that right way, and then you can start your data preparation, right? The other thing, because of the error in the algorithm or in the data, it will be skewed towards the particular outcome, right? So as I said, the example of the judge. So if it is biased towards some party, the one party, so he will not be able to do the fair judgment. He will basically be lean towards that, skewed towards that party, about which he is biased about, right? So that we need to take care of, and that's the same thing happens in the other example that I gave. What are the different types of bias? So these here, first two types of bias are related with the data, and the third type of bias is related with the algorithm, right? So measurement bias, inaccurate data collection. So so first example I have already given. Let's say in the data, your data is imbalanced, right? As I said, in case of that, again, I'll take the example of that, recruitment company. Like I have built some application for recruitment, and it is suggesting people, and then based on those suggested people are taking interviews and then selecting them for the job. In that case, if my data does not hold the data information about the black people, or if it has, so it has not the accurate data, so that means it will be biased towards the other party, that is white people, right? So that is measurement bias. That means if your data set is inaccurate. Sampling bias, right? Sampling, measurement bias is basically you are having wrong data. Sampling bias means you are having unbalanced data. For one party, you have huge amount of data. For other party, you have small data. So it's a sampling bias. You are not taking equivalent sample from those different classes, right? So that's something you need to take care of. Again, algorithmic bias means whenever you are developing the machine learning model, if you're hard coding some rules over there, that means that is called algorithmic bias. Means you are interfering with the model, let it not learn properly, but you are injecting some bias based on your algorithm, or maybe by not choosing the accurate algorithm for the task, right? So that is the algorithmic bias. Okay, what can be real? What can be real of example? So as I said, again, bias in the hiring algorithm favoring a certain demography. For example, let's say there are US companies, right? A lot of US companies may not like Indian techies, right? So if there is a US company that is hiring people based on their experience and certain other works, and if they are favoring their own country, not the talent, so obviously they are going to do injustice. They are going to be biased toward their country and doing injustice with all the other countries, right? So we obviously will have not fair chance to compete in that case, right? Again, sentiment analysis, inaccurately interpreting the specific language dialect. For example, let's say I am creating a model I mean, an NLP model. NLP meaning that's natural language processing. So I have different languages. I have Hindi, English, Urdu, and all the others different languages, Tamil, Telugu, right? If I do not have a huge amount of data for Tamil language, or if I do not know Tamil language very well, then definitely that outcome for the Tamil language particularly is not going to be very well. So that will be again an example of biasness towards the other language than the Tamil language, right? Again, the other example can be image recognition, that is misidentifying individuals due to unbalanced data sets. So that is also another thing that we can understand, right? So that is nothing but the bias. How can we address bias? So I just
Sorry to interrupt, Akash, but can you throw some more light on, let's say, techniques to balance that data? If you're taking a data, unbalanced data, and we have to balance it, so it's covering all the, let's say, individuals, black and people with balanced data. How would you balance it? What are the different techniques that we can use?
Yeah, so as I said, this is there are various techniques. For example, we have upsampling. So with the help of algorithm itself, for example, if we do not have enough data for the black people, then we can upsample them. Let's say I have just taking a small example, I have 100 data sets, 100 data points for white people, but only 10 data sets for the black people. Okay, so it's a 100:10 ratio. It's not a really good ratio, right? 1:10 ratio. So what you can do, you can upsample your data, right, for the black people so that it can also be 100. And there are algorithms for that. You can upsample the data based on certain values, right? The other thing, you can downsample the other. So downsampling is not always correct, because if you have very small data set, for example, again, like obviously 100 data points are not good data points to begin with in the machine learning model, but just an example, let's say you have 20,000 data points for white people and only 5,000 data points for black people. So you need to take care of like more towards the upsampling, not the downsampling. Or you can do both. For example, you can upsample this to 10,000 and you can downsample the white data set to the 10,000 so that it becomes equivalent, right? You can do both things depending upon how much data you have. If you have a huge amount of data, right? Let's say millions of rows for black people, millions of rows, like 10 million for black people, 1 million for 10 million for white people, 1 million for black people, then it's easy to just downsample randomly the 10 million to 1 million and the whole data set become 2 million. We must have enough data set to train with as well. That's also something you have to understand, right? That's a basic machine learning rule. So you will be choosing the upsampling or downsampling based on your convenience. So that can be the one of the way to address this.
Thanks. You can continue now.
Okay, perfect. So as I said, addressing bias. So one of the things that I just explained here, how can we address the bias? So diverse and representative data samples and a regular audit. See, this you might not be familiar until you have worked in some organization in a data science team. So what happens in a normal company, like regular audit regarding the data can happen, right? And there are some techniques for fair algorithms, right? Like pre-processing that we are doing, we need to take care of the data. In the pre-processing itself, we just upsample, downsample, right? In processing, like once we have created our data, then while creating the model, we can do it. And post-processing as well, adjust the model outcome if you think that it is unfair. Okay, so that is also something that you can do. Pre-processing means before creating the model, in processing means while creating the model, and post-processing means you can adjust the parameters of the model so it gives better results if you think it is biased towards a particular thing, right? And continuous monitoring and update. So if you have a pipeline built already that runs every day and that updates based on the certain new data and tasks, so continuously you have to monitor the data every day that is coming, right? Otherwise, if your initial model is good, but if the data inflow that is happening daily on a daily basis or hourly basis or any frequency that it has, and the data that is coming later, that is not good. So then after that, no, your model will not be fair. It will be biased towards. So that we can do for addressing the bias. What is privacy? What is the need of the privacy in production in data science? So protect user and stakeholders trust. So as I explained in the previous itself, right? So we need to take care of our users. We do not disclose their private information, and also the stakeholder build trust to them that yes, we are doing the fair way. Okay, comply with legal and regulations requirements. So whatever in which country we are here, we are there. We need to comply with the legal and regulatory authorities with them, legality and regulatory authorities, and we need to comply with the rules, right? And prevent the identity theft and financial losses. So I have already explained about this. We do not expose the private information of someone. We do not expose the login information of someone. We do not expose the financial information of someone, so that may result in financial loss. What are the different types of privacy risks that can happen? So as like all are covered in this itself. So there we have identity disclosure, attribute disclosure, inferential disclosure. So revealing someone's individual's identity if they want to be private, but we are revealing their privacy or exposing their personal data, right? So that those are the major risk is if we do not follow the ethics in our data science, right? Yeah, and reducing the obviously sensitive information that they don't want to be in the open internet, right? What can we do on that? Data masking is one of the very good way. For example, you need real life data, but what can you do in order to avoid someone's privacy breach? Same data, let the same data be there, but you can change few things. That is called data masking. For example, you just change the ring, right? You just change, you cannot change age, because changing the age will disrupt the whole data itself, but name changing can be done, right? Name changing can be done. Maybe company names changing can be done. And these kind of masking, we need to, based on our application that we are developing, we need to identify those things which we can change. That is called data masking. Data aggregation means when you are grouping the data, we can hide some specific information. That is also can be done. And the other thing that we can do is replacing the identifier with the pseudonyms, right? So as I said, name changing, that's also one of the other example of that, pseudonymization. Okay. Now, what is differential privacy? So privacy preserving data analysis technique. This is called basically that allows the data insights without compromising individual's privacy. Right. So as I said, if you have real life data, it's a purest form of the data, right? When you do pre-processing, right? When you pre-process it, you process it according to your application usage, right? And in order to ensure the privacy, we need to do some of the pre-processing that allows us to do the ensure the privacy, as I just discussed what are the methods we can use in the previous, right? So that we can maintain here. So it's again the same thing, right? Privacy budget and noise addition. We can also add few more data so that the people will not be able to identify someone's, and identity reveal cannot be there. Identity cannot be revealed. And there are use cases like statistical analysis, machine learning in data sharing. Whenever we are doing like such things, we can limit, we can protect the privacy of the user in that case. But there are some limitations as well. So as I said, when you try to do those masking and all things, so you are actually disturbing the original data set. So that's a trade-off between privacy and usefulness of the data, right? So you need to carefully change the parameters, and based on what task we are going to perform based on the data, we need to do it carefully and analyze it carefully. Then we can do it really great way, right? We need to do a fair trade-off between privacy and the utility of the data. Now, what is fairness in machine learning? So as I said, fairness in machine learning means if you have addressed all those information, like if you have addressed all those issues, so that basically we have a fair machine learning model. So fairness in machine learning basically refers to the treatment of the individual or the group. So as I said, if your model is not biased, right? If our model that is there, that is not lean towards some particular specific group or religion or something, so that is called a fair machine learning model. So unbiased decision making, unbiased decision-making process by the model can be thought of as a fair machine learning model. So again, you already know like the definition of fairness. The types of fairness can be like individual fairness, group fairness, or procedural fairness. Basically, similar treatment to all the groups. That is individual fairness. It's again the one of the if you address the bias, so basically your model will be fair on one terms, right? Again, group fairness, all the different groups all across the globe, we have all the different clusters with the different groups, and if we have addressed them, so again our model will be group fair as well. And procedural fairness means transparent and unbiased decision making process, right? So whenever we are doing any procedure, let's say procedure of decision making, so that procedure should be unbiased, and we do not do any biasness in that, right? What can be fairness matrix? There are I think this is not, we are not going to go into much technicality here, but yeah, there are some statistical parity that you can calculate, equal opportunity, like equal true positive rate we can calculate for all the groups, right? Consistent predictions accuracy. So if you already know like the classification matrices, so you will be able to understand the precision recall and all that. So if you calculate precision recall for all the different groups and they tend to be good, that means your model is fair. Okay. Again, techniques for ensuring the fairness, what we can do: pre-processing method, in-processing method, and post-processing method. So I already talked about them. So this is just in depth that I've already talked about them. So resampling, reweighting, for example, if some information or some feature has more weightage, so we can reweight it according to the in order to ensure the fairness in the model so that it does not become biased. Right. So pre-processing means before creating the model, what we can do on the data. In processing means while training the data, what we can do, how can we assign the different weights to that. And post-processing means how can we update the weights again after the processing if we think our model is not fair. Right. So that these are the three different ways that we can, three different ways and three different steps that we can make to in order to ensure the fairness in our model. So how can we, so all you know, right? You basically know what are the things that we can do in order to ensure the fairness in our model, in order to address the bias, in order to address the privacy. So implementation is nothing but addressing all those issues in all the different steps that I talked about. That is nothing but just the implementation of the ethical data science. So building a culture of ethics. So let's say if you're an organization, and in your organization you value ethics more, then obviously the people working there, if they see such things, whether or not you have some policy or something, they are going to address it on their own. So building a culture in the organization, educate them about the fairness and the ethics, right? Educate them about the biasness and all, and give them the responsibility to handle the data. Obviously there will be different stakeholders chatting them to each other, like discussion will be going on. So make them responsible for that, right? Guidelines, issue guidelines for data collection, storage, and usage of that, who can access that, right? Compliance with the legals and regularity requirements. So you also need to meet those compliances, right? Okay. Collaboration with different stakeholders. As I said, if you work in an organization, you might be getting this really well. So engaging users and experts from different fields will give you more broad mindset how to handle these things. Not only those things that I have technically talked about here, but somebody may come and they can give some new ways to handle maybe privacy, biasness, and fairness in the model, right? So now here comes the conclusion. So basically, we all are there to ensure the ethics in the data science, right? So it's really important that we just take care of all those steps that we talked about. Number one, privacy, biasness, and fairness in our model, so that we make trust in our users as well, our stakeholders as well, and our different groups of companies and different not only users and companies also, but also our development team as well. We can maintain that. So ensuring responsible and trustworthy AI system, if we are creating, if you are following all this, see, we right now have huge fear of AI doing bad things to us. You might have seen Age of Ultron. You might have seen Transform. What is that movie? Sylvester Stallone movie is there, right? I'm just forgetting the name. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is, we know the Age of Ultron, right? The very recent movie. So basically, where we fear that AI can do bad things to us. So if we do these things from the very beginning, right? These things can be avoided by far. Okay, and we can create those AI systems, and those AI systems will have no idea about these bad things in their mind, right? Building users and stakeholders trust, as I said multiple times. Ongoing responsibility means continuously addressing the bias, privacy, and fairness in the pipeline itself, so that it's not only just about creating one fair model and then whatever is happening updation in there, you do not take care about that. So you also need to take care about that continuously, and also adapting and evolving to the data and social norms, right? So if any new things come into, any new regulation come in by the government, so you need to also follow them. So whatever the things that is going on currently, that you need to follow them, right? And also encouragement for further exploration. So as I said, it's not only these things that I have talked about here. Maybe there might be few more things that may come in your mind as well. So we can also incorporate this. That can happen when we collaborate with each other, talk to each other, what are the different ways to do that. And if we have that exploratory mindset, right, if we have a team that we give enough time to them to explore, not just to just bombard them with the task to complete, right? So emphasizing the lifelong learning, and in the ethical data science, we can basically collaboration with each of the different stakeholders and give them brainstorming sessions, so that they can come up with some new ideas of the further exploration, and how can we deal with all these different things in our data science. So yes, that's about all these. Basically, everyone talks about data science. Yeah, I had also taken the last session about data science itself, but it's really good to start the better way, to not go the wrong way. So that's why it's really important to understand what are the ethics that we can follow in the data science. So yeah, that's pretty much of it from my side. If you have any question on this, you can ask.
So I think our viewers are a little bit shy, so they're not responding to chat box. Okay. So thank you so much for your such sharing such valuable insight with us today and taking your valuable time for us. I think it really helped all our viewers like developing a machine learning model that is not biased to any age, sex, or religion or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
it really gives me an insight how a machine learning engineer works in his daily life. So now, towards the end of the webinar, we are sharing an attendance form in the chat box for everyone to fill. And if you fill this form, you will get a ebook, uh, which is filled with these kind of insights and will help you a lot. If you want it, you just have to fill this form and you'll get the ebook. And now I will be sharing my screen and showing you how everything works, on SkillVertex platform. Okay, just give me a moment. So I think my screen is visible to you now. So yeah, you can go on to Play Store and just search for SkillVertex app. And this app provides you notifications regarding the classes and everything, and also for these kind of events that we are usually doing. So if you want to keep updated on it, you can just download the app and sign up. And this is our website. You can just Google it and go to this website. There are courses here, placement assurance programs, computer science, electrical, electronics, management, and other such topics, and also non-tech topics as well. And here's the new compiler we have launched on our website. You can practice coding problems here. This is the problems that were asked in Facebook coding interviews, and it will help you a lot to get prepared for your interviews. And also, if you sign in, once you have registered with us and you sign in, you will get this window where you can see the courses that you have purchased. So let's say if I'm going for cybersecurity, I have purchased this course. Here it will show you everything about the course, who is your mentor, how many sessions will be there, how many assignments, projects, what tools will be covered in this course, and what are the other highlights. And if you go to the video, these are the videos that will be shown to you once you have purchased the course. For me, it's purchased, but when you haven't purchased anything, it will show the first video. You can only watch the intro session, and other will be locked. Once you make the full payment, you can just watch any video you want. So this is it, and thanks for everyone for joining. I hope this sessions helps you upskill. And if you have any doubts, just drop in your chat box. Yeah, you can just fill in the chat for attendance form. Thanks for joining, everyone. You guys can leave the meet now.